Hi everyone, it's Tanis with H&H Sign Supply with my weekly live video. And today we are going to be painting a wooden heart that was probably found at Hobby Lobby. It says it's $3.99. I think I got this probably last year or so. And I'm sure I did not pay $3.99 for it, but it's just a blank heart. And then we are going to be, it's wooden. It's wooden. We're going to be painting that. And then we're also going to be using the 810 Oracal stencil film. Usually I do the 813 because that is the most popular one, but I wanted to try the 810 and see how that worked. So we'll be painting the heart with some acrylic paint, and then we will be stenciling over. So it's just these hearts with this heart. So this is what I did. I went ahead and painted because it is a little chilly and I was afraid that the paint wouldn't dry in time for me to be able to stencil. So I went ahead and painted the front, but we are going to paint the back. So it's already painted so I can speed up the process, but we are going to paint it together. And I'm going to peel the sticker off. Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. How's the weather? It is very cold today. We did get a little bit of snow yesterday. They were calling for 1 to 3 inches and we probably didn't even get a 1/4 of an inch. And they let school out early as a precaution, and the roads were a little bit hazardous, so I get why they did that. But it's just kind of a bummer because I was really wanting just a little bit of snow. So we're in Western Kentucky. We don't get a lot of snow. And when we do, it's like a really big deal because we're not used to seeing it that often. And to be honest, we don't know how to drive in it. And so it shuts the roads and the schools and everybody runs to the grocery and it gets very hectic. So that's how it is here in Western Kentucky. Hi Laura, hi Curtis. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. So you can get these wood blanks for pretty cheap. I mean, you can get them in all different holidays, all different shapes, and they would be really great for kids crafts or to make your own home decor. So I'm gonna flip my screen so that you can see what I'm doing as I'm painting. Get that flipped for you. Okay, so like I said, I've already painted this back side and I'm not real happy with it. I wish I would have took a little more time and really paid attention and done a better job of fading the 3 colors together. But it's done, it's over with, and you guys will get the point. So what we're using today is just white. I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing here. Make sure my camera's good. Yeah, I think I'm good. So I'm just using acrylic paint. This is a matte finish. That one is matte as well. And I'm just going to start with white. So it'll be easier. It's always easier to make white darker rather than make dark lighter. So I'm going to start with some white. And then I'm going to put just a dot of red, if I can get it to be just a dot. And we're going to mix it until it changed a light pink. Now, whenever I did this earlier, that pink ended up being a little bit darker, so I'm going to do just one small little drop there to make it just a tad bit darker. And that's a little bit darker than I wanted, I think. So I'm going to add just a little bit of white. I mean, there's really no right or wrong way. And I'm just going to try to do a third and a third. So I'm guessing about right here. And if you have a heat gun, you can, a lot of times you can speed up the process of the drying. I don't have a heat gun over here. I wish that I did. But if you don't get crazy with the paint and you just do a light layer, then it will dry fairly quickly. I painted the back side of this morning, probably around 10 o'clock. So there's my first layer, and I'm going to add a little bit more white because I don't have a lot of paint there. And I'm going to go just a shade darker. So this paint, you can find it at Walmart, or I think you can probably find it at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, Target. I know I've bought some from Meijer before. So the brush that I'm using actually is a really old brush. I bought it to do stenciling with chalk paint, but for what I'm doing, I can just kind of slap it on and it doesn't really matter. Now I'm going to go just a little bit darker. I'm going to add just a little bit more red to make that darker. Didn't quite get dark enough there. It's not dark enough. Do just a little bit more. Make sure you do just a little bit at a time, because a little bit will go a long way when you're mixing red and white. I'm still not liking that. I think I'm going to just add a little bit more because I don't feel like there's enough contrast. Like, I don't want too much contrast, but I want it to look like a contrast. There we go. I think this one is blending in much better, probably just because I know the technique now, because I did it before. I think the previous, like on the back side when I did it, I think maybe this bottom piece was a little bit darker, but you guys get the idea. So just play with it and do it however you want to do it. I mean, you wouldn't have to necessarily do pink. You could do mint and purple and pink, and then you would let it dry. But like I said before, I've already painted this this other side, and if you can see, like that one kind of faded in really nicely, but this one I'm not really liking the fade on it. It doesn't look as nice. Like, it didn't fade as nice. But we're going to go with it because I don't think we're going to be able to get it to dry. I know you guys don't want to sit here and watch paint dry. So we are now going to apply the stencil and wipe my hands. See if I have any comments. Hello, everyone that just hopped on. Thank you for joining me. So this stencil I cut with my Silhouette Cameo. It is the 810 Oracal stencil mask, and I decided to use the 810 because we sell a ton of the 813, but we do have some customers that like the 810. and I wanted to know why. And I weeded most of these hearts, but I thought I would give it a minute for that paint to dry, and we can chat for a second while I weed the rest of these hearts. So before I cut the 810, I decided to just peel it back from the backing and see what the difference is. And the difference for me is the 810, it's still kind of a translucent transparent type of vinyl, like you can see through it, but it's softer. I feel like it is softer than the 813. Sometimes the 813 is a little more rigid, which is good whenever you're doing a stencil, but sometimes it is a little, in my experience, it seems like it's always been great. I've always had good success with it. It doesn't really bleed. The key to that is to not oversaturate with your paint, but in my experience, it can be a little bit hard to weed, not as forgiving. This one here seems to be a little bit softer. More along, not quite as soft as a vinyl, but more along that line. So I have all of my hearts weeded here, and now I need to apply my transfer tape. I'm going to use, man, I really like paper tape, and last time I tried to do paper tape, it was an epic disaster because I couldn't see well enough for what I was doing. But I'm going to lay this down here, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to do paper tape. Hopefully I won't have an epic fail, but I just really like the paper tape. And I think it's just because, for one, that's what I'm used to using. That's when I used to help Nick make signs. That's what he preferred. And to me, it's just easier. It's more forgiving. So in my experience, that's what I like to use. But a lot of people like the clear, and I know there is a need for the clear, obviously, if you're layering something. So let's try the paper and see. So this paper tape is Oracal HT55. We do sell it in 10-yard rows, 12-inch. We also sell it in larger rows, but we have plenty of the 12-inch 10 yards in stock. And paper tape is great to tape things down, and I feel like it's more forgiving because it's much softer, whereas the clear tape, it's more rigid. So I think this is going to work out just fine. I can see where those hearts are. So the stencil film I'm using is Oramask 810. The transfer tape that I'm using is Oracal's Aura Tape HT55, which is a paper tape. And notice that I turned it over to flip the back, to peel the backing up. It seems like you get better results when you peel the backing off rather than the transfer tape off. And I cut this way bigger than I really needed to. So I think I'm going to cut the bottom off here because it's a little bit bigger. I got a little carried away. I just threw a bunch of hearts on my screen and just filled up a whole 12 by 12 and just went with it. So there's really no right or wrong way of doing this, but I do want to kind of make sure that I get it straight. And I'm trying to get the center of the heart in the center of these hearts here. That's really what I'm trying to do, and I think I've got it pretty good. So going to cut around the edge because I feel like it's just way too much. Now the possibilities are absolutely endless. I thought about getting some glitter and applying some glitter, but I thought, no, that's just way too messy. So, alright, so that's what we have. I need to get my other brush. And now we're going to paint the hearts white. And don't forget, the key is to not get crazy with the paint. When you just start getting careless and slapping it on, a lot of times that's where you'll start getting the bleeding. You also want to make sure that around the edges is adhered well to the surface, because that's also where you can get some bleeding. I can't believe this is the last week of January already. It'll be spring before we know it, and I think February 2nd is Groundhog Day, which I know that that's just not always accurate, but it's always fun to see what they say is predicted. Now, I'm not going to go back over this with like letters or a name or anything, but you could wait for the hearts to dry, and then you could like write love on it or be mine. You could add a bow. Lots of different things you could do, or you know, this could even be something you could put in a baby's nursery, especially if they're going to be born in February. And I'm not really saturating these hearts because I want it to be subtle. I was going to do like a buffalo plaid. I thought that would be really cute, but the detail of the plaid, the little hash marks in the buffalo plaid was just way too fine of a detail, and it was going to be, I was really afraid I wasn't going to be able to pull it off in a live video. So I decided to do something a little more simple, and you guys could do whatever you wanted. I mean, you could do a plaid pattern or anything. If you do a project like this, please share that. I'd love to see what our customers do. That helps inspire our customers, and it also helps us see different possibilities. We've had customers share their stuff before, and they just really, like, they might take what I do, but they just run with it with their own spin on it, and it always turns out so great. So if you plan to do this, please share that. Almost done. So far, this 810 has worked out just fine. It peeled from the tape just fine, and it also seemed to have adhered to the painted surface. So if you were going to use it, I would just, test it yourself and see how it does for you. So let's see if I have any comments. We will try to make sure she sees this question. What is the brown sheet you are working on top of? Gary, that is just a piece of craft paper. That's actually what we use for packing paper in our boxes in our shipping department. We buy it in a big, huge roll, and we just have this dispenser thing, and I just peeled a sheet off and use it so it's easy to throw away. You could also use newspaper. When are textile foils being stocked? We have those on order. They will probably arrive within a couple of weeks. Depends on their delays. I've seen them ship them really fast, and I've also seen them delay that by a week or more. So we will be getting them in stock, so just please be patient with this. So you don't have to let it completely dry before you peel the stencil. And I'm going to go ahead and peel that because I know you guys don't want to sit here and watch paint dry. So here we go. Finished. This back side, I was going to see if it was dry enough for me to maybe use that stencil and paint it again. But it still feels pretty sticky, so I'm not even going to try that. But that is our finished project. Isn't that cute? So like I said, you could go back over it with some words and stencil that again once this dries, or you could just leave it and set it on your mantle. So many different possibilities. So many. Let me flip my screen here. All right, guys, so I think Jamie has provided the link to the stencil. I think some of it might be out of stock. I'm not sure. But in my experience, you can also use like the removable vinyl, like the removable 631 or the GTMR for a stencil as well. So super easy, very cute. Like I said, this was only $3.99 at Hobby Lobby. I'm pretty sure I bought it last year. I've had it for a while, and I probably did not pay $3.99 for it. They have all kinds of cute blanks for painting, and you could put glitter and ribbon, and possibilities are endless. So thank you guys for watching me today. I appreciate your support. I go live every Thursday at 3 o'clock Central. We do just a quick little project. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. You can also send us an email or a Facebook message if you have any craft projects that you would like for me to do. Thanks for joining me. Enjoy your week. We supply, you create.